Thanks to Rosa by Azariah M. Easy. This is the biography of Rosa Parks. Y'all better make it light upon yourselves and let me have those seats. Every colored person obeyed the command to stand at the back of the bus, all except one person who remained in her seat. Her name was Rosa Parks. Why did she remain seated? Because she was tired of the absence of freedom and liberties that she lived as a colored woman. In this report, we're going to dive into Rosa's early life, her personal life, her accomplishments, her later life, and the honors she received for her works of courage. Rosa Parks was born on February 4, 1913, in Tuskegee, Alabama. Her original name was Rosa Louise McCauley. Considering her parents, Leona, Rosa's mother, was a teacher and was married to James McCauley, Rosa's father, who was an amazingly skilled carpenter. When Rosa and her family relocated to Pine Level, Alabama, her father didn't want to stay there because he wanted to be in another town. Therefore, when Rosa was 2 years old, the parents separated from each other. Later, Rosa's brother, Sylvester, and her grandparents had a farm in Pine Level. Rosa attended school until she was 11 years old, when she dropped out of school in order to take care of her grandmother and mother, who were both severely ill. When Rosa was a teenager, she met Raymond Parks, who was a barber and an activist, which is a person who tries to improve life for others. Eventually, Rosa married Raymond in 1932, when she was 19 years old. After the marriage, Rosa worked at several different jobs. Needing to finish her education, Rosa completed high school at the urging of her husband. In the mid-1950s, Rosa became a seamstress. Sadly, Rosa was completely childless, but she became a member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, known as NAACP. On December 1, 1955, Rosa Parks boarded the Cleveland Avenue bus, which is part of the transit system in Montgomery, Alabama. She was on her way home from work and found a seat in the colored section of the bus. After the bus pulled into the second stop, several white people boarded the bus and sat down, but 2 or 3 white people were left standing. Seeing that there were some white people standing, James F. Blake, the white bus driver, asked the colored people that were in the bus to amble to the back of the bus and stand during the remainder of the ride in order to allow the white people to sit. Every colored person but one obeyed. Rosa didn't stand up from her seat. Because of this, she was arrested and taken to jail. Thankfully, bail was paid in order to let Rosa out. Shortly after this, a boycott of the public buses began on December 5, 1955. After a year, on December 20, 1956, the boycott ended because the colored people finally received the freedom to sit wherever they wanted on buses. In the years ahead, Rosa witnessed more successes in the fight for civil rights, such as the Civil Rights Act, which was signed by President Lyndon Johnson. The act gave colored people the right to vote, and it ended segregation in the United States. Rosa Parks kept on working to improve colored people's lives. During that time, Black Americans were fighting other unfair laws. Many Caucasians joined them in the fight because they wanted equal treatment for all human beings. Pretty soon, all the laws were changed for good, and blacks had the same rights that whites had. Unfortunately, Rosa lost her job as a seamstress. For this reason, she and her husband moved first to Hampton, Virginia, and then to Detroit to be with Sylvester, Rosa's brother, and Daisy McCauley, Rosa's sister-in-law. While they were still living in Detroit, Mr. Parks, Rosa's husband, died from throat cancer on August 19, 1977. After her husband died, Rosa slipped on a slick, slippery sidewalk and shattered some bones. During that time, she began to nurse her mother, Leona, through her last stages of cancer before Leona died at age 92 on December 12, 1979. Interestingly, Rosa died on October 24th, 2005, at the age of 92, just like her mother, but from natural causes. After Rosa's death, several memorial services were held in her honor. The funeral itself lasted 7 hours. Rosa's body was placed at the Woodlawn Cemetery, where her body rests to this very day. Before Rosa Parks died, she received multiple awards and recognitions. In the 1980s, Rosa was honored for her courageous fight for civil rights. As part of the honors given to her, several streets were named after her. In 1994, the Missouri legislature voted to name a section of their highway the Rosa Parks Highway, which she emphasized as a high honor when she was interviewed about it. "It is always nice to be thought of," she remarked. Being awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom was among the honors she received. Afterward, Detroit named a section of the road the Rosa Parks Boulevard. In addition to the Presidential Award, Rosa received the Congressional Gold Medal with her face on it, and the Smithsonian Institution put up a bronze statue of Rosa. On December 1, 2000, Troy University in Montgomery, Alabama opened the Rosa L. Parks Library and Museum. Rosa received many more rewards, but most were given to honor her because in staying seated on a bus, she stood for the greater good. Thanks to Rosa Louise Parks, she has made the United States a better place for people of all races to live in.
Let me ask this question. What do colored people now hope to gain by pressing the segregation fight at this time? What immediate results do you hope to achieve?
Well, we hope to achieve equal rights as any human being deserves. That's what we're working for.
What do you think the prospects are for achieving that goal?
I think we'll be successful if we continue.
How long do you think it would take?
I have no idea how long.
Also, I want to say that through the compliments of someone, we were given showered leaflets about the communist school. That particular school where they accused Dr. King of being a student, he was not a student, but I was. And that particular school, Miles Harden, is responsible for me today in not hating every white person I see. I learned at that time and at that place that there are decent people of any race or color. We are not in a struggle of black against white, but wrong and right. Right against wrong. Thank you. There are many things I could say, but I will not prolong the time because we must hear Dr. King, our leader. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I'm very happy to be here. This is a wonderful evening, and we have so many beautiful people here, both youth and adults. And I'm very glad that we came to this program. And I'm hoping that we will continue to do all that we can to help our youth, because they are our future. And we have a wonderful leadership now.